month's edition of Picture of Health. I'm your host, Tina Mann. On today's episode, we're learning about the Rohr Home, a long-term skilled nursing facility that provides care to people who don't have the time or wellness to care for themselves. The Rohr Home also offers other types of assistance, such as specialized therapy, lab, and hospice services. Today in studio, we have Joshua Wilson, the Rohr Home Admissions Coordinator, and Don Clement, a registered nurse, here to tell us more about the facility. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Now, the most interesting thing about me starting here at the county is I had no idea what all the county did. I definitely didn't know that we actually had a nursing home. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the Rohr Home and what they do?
All right, the Rohr Home was established in 1963. We're a 60-bed facility. We specialize in long-term care for those needing 24-hour around-the-clock care, as well as short-term therapeutic rehab care. That would be people having a hip replacement, knee surgery, something like that, and they need some specialized therapy before they return back home.
Excellent. And I know you guys had a recent expansion of services and dining halls?
It really wasn't the services that expanded, it's just some expansions to the building itself. We did expand the dining area. Commercial grade kitchen was implemented and redone. A couple years ago, we did add the therapy wing, so things of that nature.
And what type of therapy would that be?
Physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy.
Okay, and for the residents, what would a typical day look like?
Typical day for a normal 24-hour resident, I mean, it's really not that much different from somebody at their house. I mean, that's their home, basically. Right. So, I mean, they might have family members coming to visit. They might be going out for the day. We have morning exercise classes. So, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, typical stuff. I mean, it's the Rohr home. I mean, it's their home. So, depending on their needs, if it's somebody there for therapy, they might be, you know, having therapy sessions throughout that day. But other than that, I mean, they're joining in activities, you know, like I said, family might be coming in, or they might be visiting with friends, things of that nature.
And one of the things you guys really do well at is creating a home atmosphere. What type of things do you do to make it more home-like for them?
The biggest thing is probably the size. Like I said, we're a smaller facility, so everybody knows everybody. So like the larger facilities, I mean, it's hard to get to know everybody. So that's what makes it more like a family home environment. It looks like, you know, aesthetically pleasing, like more of a home type nature, I guess you would say. It's not so hospital grade, I guess you would call it. Right. So they have a common lobby area with the big screen TV and the popcorn maker in the corner and all that good stuff, and the dining area, you know, it's very sociable in there as well. So.
Excellent. And I know before the show we were talking about how busy you were. What types of things do you do as the admissions coordinator?
Yeah, basically I'm the start to finish of the admissions. So I'm meeting with the families and doctors and social workers at the hospital all the way from the time I get the referral to the end of the completion of all the paperwork. So I have to meet with the families, get everything filled out. I'm inputting everything into the computers, updating the census, and taking care of the family needs and all that good stuff. So, I mean, it keeps me running, especially when we have multiple ones coming in one day, so.
That's funny. So you have a very busy, typical day.
Yeah. Yes.
What about you? What's your typical day?
Well, my typical day is I come in and we start out by making sure that we do a shift report to find out what happened in the previous shift, plan our care for the day for the residents, depending on what their needs are. And then we just go to work and do whatever tasks we have to complete. Yeah.
That's excellent. And what goes into the selection of residents? I mean, how do you choose which ones actually can come to Rohr Home?
The medical staff, normally the director of nursing, they'll review the referral to make sure we can meet all of their needs, because there are some specialties that we can't take care of. So they look at everything medically, basically, and they make the decision.
And where do most of your referrals come from?
All over. Yeah, Bartow Hospital, Lakeland Hospital, Lake Wells, Winter Haven, Tampa. We have referrals that come from home. I mean, just people calling in wanting to know, hey, I have a loved one that needs 24-hour care that I can no longer give. So those would be more of the long-term care residents.
So how long does the process usually take from the referral to when they move in? I mean, can you describe that
Depending
a little bit?
on when they're released from the hospital, I mean, that could be a day to a week, depending on when the doctor actually releases them. Somebody coming from home, it could be about the same time frame.
Okay, what is that process from referral to?
So basically, I'd get the referral, I'd give that to the director of nursing. She would review everything. They're looking at everything medically, like their needs, you know, what medicines they might need to take, things of that nature, what therapies they might need. They talk with the therapy staff, make sure all those needs can be addressed. If they are, then I get my okay to move forward. I run everything, the insurance, you know, that's another thing we need to look at, you know, monetarily, how we're gonna accept somebody. So I have to go through that process with the family as well and run the insurance. Then I call them in. We fill out all the paperwork, which takes a couple hours, and then I start inputting everything into the computer and getting everything ready to go. And from there on, the nursing team takes over and they start meeting those needs that need to be addressed, whatever medicines they need every day, performance therapies, restorative nursing, what have you. We meet their dietary needs. We have a dietitian that looks at that aspect as well. So it's a whole circle aspect that you have to look at, mentally, you know, physically, medically. So.
Excellent. And you mentioned a dietitian. What other types of staff do you guys have on hand?
Our clinician staff would be, of course, our doctors and LPNs and RNs. We have medication nurse, we have treatment nurse. Dawn acts as a treatment and supervising nurse. So if anybody has wound care or dressing, something like that needs to be addressed, Dawn would take care of it. The medication nurses take care of all the medicines. We have a dietitian that comes in to take care of their dietary needs. We have lab techs that come to do x-rays and any labs that need to be drawn. We have a podiatrist that comes on site.
Wow.
We have mental health counseling if anybody needs, you know, that service as well. So pretty good, pretty expansive team
that really
that we have working.
Yeah, we also have wound care doctor that comes in
yeah.
and does rounds. We have the CNAs, which branch out into restorative CNA. We also have a activities CNA. Then we have our activities director, social worker, and then our so we have a yeah.
That's amazing though, because I mean it's scary when you are thinking about not taking care of your own loved one because you want to take all that control, but sometimes you just can't do it. I know my own grandfather was in a nursing home because he had Alzheimer's, and my grandmother just couldn't do it. And you worry so much about whether they're going to be taken care of. So it's amazing.
Yeah, because I mean you see those things on TV and you know all that stuff, but
you do, but you don't realize how much goes into that and how many services you guys actually provide.
Yeah, and it's a special time for us to be able to take in a loved one and get that opportunity to take care of them. And I think that that's one of the most unique things about the Rohr home is family members will say to us after they've gone through the transition process of getting their loved one admitted, they become like an extended family. And they really enjoy coming in and visiting and getting to know all of us and us getting to know them. So it's a pretty great place.
It's peace of mind for those families, knowing that they're taken care of and treated as a family member. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about the therapy and the rehabilitative services, how that usually goes?
All right, when somebody comes in from the hospital and they need therapy services, the physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy, they're all going to come in and address and see what the needs are. If it's somebody that had a stroke, I mean, they could need all three. Physical therapy is going to be your endurance, your strength training. Occupational therapy is more geared to your everyday tasks, your mobilities, transferring, and the speech therapy, of course, would be for those having swallowing issues, speech issues, things of that nature. So they're going to address them and see, you know, if there's any medicine that they might need to bring in as well as the performance therapies. They all come together with the nursing staff, and basically they just put what we call a care plan together, what our goals are, what we're going to address, and what the final income is that we're aiming for. And that's what we just go from there.
That's good. I know that therapy can be stressful on people, so it's great that you have all that there. The residents, tell me one of your favorite stories. I know you have something.
Oh, wow.
You got some?
I know you have something. I know you have one there.
I mean, it's just, it's just the things they'll say. I mean, it's just, I mean, they'll tell you what's on their mind. I mean, they're hilarious. And I mean, they treat you like I said, I mean, it's just family. I mean, we keep going back to that. You know, I know that's hard to believe sometimes, but it just is. I mean, they'll scold you like their kid, and I mean, they'll laugh with you like, you know, I mean, they love to joke around, and, you know, everybody has good days, everybody has bad days, you know.
I heard there was one resident there who was insistent on still going out and volunteering.
Yeah, we've had people come in and they're getting ready for work. No, I'm headed to work and I need to do this and do that.
Yeah.
And we actually have partnered with the volunteers across,
Volunteer services.
yeah, and we've been able to take some of the residents with the activities over to help them if that was something that they did before, so we were able to get them to continue to volunteer and, obviously do a task that they were able to complete. And
Makes you feel more helpful and useful, and it really improves your life quality when you're still able to do something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you may not be able to fully take care of yourself, but you still feel like you're being a productive member of society.
Yeah.
So I know you guys also have volunteers coming in. And
Oh yeah, a lot of volunteers, a lot of groups. We partner with the schools. They have a medical, I wouldn't call it college, but medical class. They're basically, they're CNAs by the time they graduate. They come in and they volunteer for their clinical hours that they need, and they also do their in-service training, things of that nature. They work with our CNAs to see what it's going to be like, what they'll be doing, interacting. And we have a lot of other volunteers that come in just to be with the residents. We have a lot of groups that come in. There's always activities going on. It's always something. I mean, you might walk in and Elvis is in there singing. I mean, you never know. I mean, you could walk in and it's a Hawaii luau going on. They've gone on fishing trips, baseball games. We pull out the grill and cook out, and I mean, we just have a good time. We know what we need to do. We're professional about it, but we can have fun at the same time.
And I know there's also a pastor that comes in every week, and I know the clerk of courts usually comes and carols around Christmas time. So it's always exciting.
We have like a Monday night Bible study. Sundays they always have church. We have a pastor comes in. They also have somebody that comes in to, for the Catholics so that they can have their communion, and so all kinds of different things we do for the residents.
Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk a little more about that when we come back. Stay tuned. You're watching Picture of Health on PGTV.
Hi, I'm Whitney Fung with the University of Florida IFAS Extension and Indigent Healthcare. Welcome back for some tips on eating healthy. So today we're on tip number 5, make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Now remember my plate. And my plate's really important because you have a very balanced, healthy diet and meal. And so throughout the day, we want to be following something like this. Today, we'll be focusing on half your plate, fruits and vegetables. So eating more of that good, wholesome foods that are high in fiber and with lots of antioxidants and nutrients. So fruits and vegetables are great, and we'll talk about some ideas on how to eat more of that and budget-friendly tips as well. So each day, we want to get at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day if you can. So that makes 2 servings of fruit and 3 servings of vegetables. So your fruits could be a banana for lunch and maybe a cup of oranges for dinner, or maybe even a cup of blueberries for breakfast, and then a apple for dinner. So there's different ways that you can incorporate your fruits throughout the day. For your vegetables, that could be the same thing as well. Whether it's broccolis, tomatoes, carrots, you want to consume a rainbow of colors. And so we have different things here today. We also wanted to talk about canned. So fresh, frozen, and canned are fine, and they do count as one of the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. Now, this one is 100% fruit juice. So when you buy canned fruit, sometimes you can stock them and buy them when they're buy one, get one free, or maybe even on sale. So it tells you 100% fruit juice. That means you know that the liquid inside is 100% juice. The same goes for orange juice or whatever fruit juice you consume. That counts as a serving of fruit. So 100% fruit juice means it comes all from a fruit, and then if you can actually eat the whole fruit, even better, because then you get the fiber, and fiber is also very great for you. So when you consume frozen things, so again, fresh, frozen, and canned are all servings of fruits and vegetables. For the frozen ones, try to consume the ones with maybe not butter sauce or just plain vegetables, and that's good to go. The same thing for canned vegetables, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the sodium tip. But fresh, frozen, canned are all great, and don't forget to make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Now here we have a few tips and strategies from Bethany Tate, who is a Kaiser University dietetic intern. Please share some ideas on how do you increase your fruits and vegetables.
Thank you, Whitney. Yeah, you shared some great information about fruit and vegetable intake, but I know some people struggle with getting all of their servings in every day. So I'd like to share a few more tips on how I like to get more fruits and vegetables in my diet. So one thing that you can do is after you get back from the grocery store, pack your fruits and vegetables in nice Tupperware containers so that they're ready to go. That way when you leave the house to go to work or go to school, you can just take these containers with you. Another thing that you can do is take fresh berries or cherries, maybe strawberries or blueberries, chop them up and put them on your breakfast cereal or oatmeal in the morning. Fresh fruit also makes a great dessert. The fruit cocktail you pointed out that's canned, if it's in 100% fruit juice, that's an excellent dessert choice that's lower in sugar than many other desserts out there and very delicious. My personal favorite way to get servings of fruits and vegetables in my diet is a smoothie in the morning. I like to add a kiwi, maybe some berries or cherries, banana, and some low-fat yogurt, blend it all up in the smoothie, and that's a healthy way to start my day.
Thank you very much, Bethany. Well, that's all we have today. We'll catch you next time.
For more information on this tip or any of the other 10 tips to a great plate, visit choosemyplate.gov.
I wish I was in school.
If only I had a math test today.
I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard.
I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
Welcome back. Our two special guests today are Joshua Wilson and Dawn Clement, who are here from the Rohr Home, a 5-star skilled nursing facility in Bartow. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about the different volunteers that come in. And people who are watching this may be interested in volunteering or having their groups come in and do something. What is the process for that? And I know they actually have to go through other places for that.
Yeah, I know they have to go through volunteer Polk, but if somebody's interested in volunteering at the Rohr Home, they would probably talk to Pam Jones, Activities Director, because that's who they'd be working with, because they're going to have to get a background check, and there's going to be some other steps through volunteer Polk that they'll have to go through, and then they'll be allowed to come in and volunteer with us.
Right. Because having different activities is always welcome, and new skills they can teach them, things, because it's important to help with cognition, which is something else we were talking with about the break. How do you guys help with that?
Well, we have our speech therapist who does helps with swallowing, but also helps with cognitive deficiencies. So she'll do an assessment based on what she sees. She'll, like Josh was saying, do a plan of care to help meet not just the swallowing issues that might be there, but help to improve their cognitive status. So occupational therapy and speech therapy will work hand in hand together to help improve and meet their goals, so that they can either, whether they're going to be a long-term resident at the Rohr Home or go back home to their prior living arrangements.
And a lot of people don't actually realize that you can increase your cognitive abilities. You can actually reverse some of that, the damage from, just aging in general. So there's activities you can do and things. So
that's what we try to do with the therapies. We want to increase people, increase their level.
Maximize their potential.
Right. It sounds like the biggest thing you guys concentrate on there is improving quality of life for these people.
Exactly.
Yep.
I know that the activities that you guys bring in have a lot to do with that. What type of activities does describe the activity coordinator job and the types of things she tries to bring in?
They have arts and crafts. They have a lot of clubs that they do. They have the men's club and a women's club. She has a garden club. She has a resident council. She tries to keep them involved. They're choosing what the meals are going to be they like to go for. We like to change up the menu. That way it's Monday, meatloaf today. I mean, they try to keep things different. They go with the season. So during the summer, you might have some spring salads, and during the winter, some chili and things of that nature. So
they also have where they do story time, where somebody will come in and read. They'll go around. If a person chooses to stay in their room, they may go to their room and bring activities to them. So if they don't really want to do a group activity, they might do a one-on-one activity with either a volunteer or with Pam, how she's designated for that resident. So we meet their needs as they need them at the Rohr home. So they also do bingo, which is a big activity for the residents. They have bingo bucks, and they
get real competitive.
They really.
Yeah.
That's one of the big events for the residents. They like doing their bingo. So
yeah, competition.
Yeah.
It gets a little scary at some of these bingo things because they take it seriously.
Very
And if you're talking, they will shush you, and it is hilarious. And you also do movie nights.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll have movie day and pull out the old-fashioned popcorn maker and pop popcorn, and I mean their family members even come in and join in with it. And we have a lot of outside groups that come in, a lot of singing groups and comedians and. The puppet guy, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but they love him as well too. So.
And for Valentine's Day, they did the dating game where they had some residents there who had their spouses. They asked different questions on how well they knew each other.
The newlywed
and then
game.
they had it was
like
pretty
that.
it was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I think they had ball dancers come in and just all kinds of different stuff. Pam's really good at what she does, definitely.
It's all so important because it sounds like they would have more fun than somebody being at home.
Yeah, a lot of them do because they just be sitting at home, some of them by themselves just watching TV all day and not moving around a lot or anything. So.
And speaking at home, if people out there are kind of thinking and wrestling with that decision between keeping a loved one at home and having them there, what are the benefits of them being in a nursing home versus at home?
I would probably lean towards more of their safety. Is what I would.
24-hour care.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody. I mean, we can't always prevent something from happening because there's not somebody on top of somebody 24 hours a day every second. But at home, I mean, if you have to, I'll be right back, Mom. I just need to go check the mail. You walk back inside, and Mom's on the floor. I mean, it's just, anything could happen while you're sleeping. Mom could walk right out the door. You just never know. It depends on their mental capabilities, their physical attributes. Loved ones can end up hurting themselves trying to catch somebody falling or picking them up.
Administration of medications.
Yeah.
We have the doctor that visits so they don't have to leave. They come in. We address issues that arise if they have a change in their condition. We're able to address it and be preventative. We might say, okay, well, this symptom's happening, and address it with the doctor, and the doctor will write orders. So we try to keep them from going to the hospital, keeping them there at the Rohr home. So we do a lot of preventative things, and I think for a family, it's peace of mind to know that they have that 24-hour care, that we're, and continuity of care. A lot of us have been there for a long time.
Yeah, that's a big thing, longevity of the staff.
Yeah.
So.
Which says a lot about the facility because I know that they have a high rate of turnover in typical nursing homes because, it's a hard environment to work in sometimes. But when the staff stays, that is saying a lot about you guys.
Yeah. Right.
That you guys really are creating a family atmosphere and a place where, the employees and the residents alike really enjoy being there. The peace of mind is a big thing for families.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they don't realize how much they do and how much they're trying to mentally keep up with their own self, their family, maybe their, all these appointments and all the scheduling.
Right.
I know I've taken care of somebody, it's not easy, and I watched my grandmother go through it, and her health was declining because she was trying to do so much, and once he was in there, it started to improve, and she got more rest because she would feel like she could never sleep.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, because you have a lot of going on in your own life as well, so,
Yeah, and if somebody is interested in the Rohr home, what's the best channel of finding out more information?
Basically, it would be to come to me. That would be the starting point. Just go right to the admissions coordinator, and I could take it from there. Basically, I'll find out exactly what needs it is that they're needing, what they're looking for, and because we're not always the best fit for everyone. Some people might need a different type of facility or might not need the level of care that we provide. They might not be there yet. So
and you're aware of additional resources you can point them to?
Yeah, they might need an assisted living facility, something like that, or maybe an adult daycare during the day or something. They might not be at that point yet. So
we're also not a lockdown unit. So if
Yeah.
a patient is exit seeking, if they have Alzheimer's, but they may be at a risk for leaving the facility, we wouldn't be able to meet their needs at our
I
facility
would
for
refer
that.
them to another close facility that does have a lockdown unit for that purpose.
And you guys are right here in Bartow.
Yep.
And where are you located?
2120 Marshall Edwards Drive.
Okay, that's right near the health department in that area,
Yes.
Yeah.
near the golf course. This is the easy question for you guys. What's your favorite thing about working at the Rohr home?
Favorite thing about working there? I get to work with Dawn.
That's
my
right.
favorite
That's your
thing.
favorite thing.
And she gets to work with
That's
me.
right.
Y'all are sucking up today.
I have to say, my favorite thing about working at the Rohr home is I look forward to going to work. I never
Yeah.
feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm going to my home away from
Yeah.
home, and that the residents and that my coworkers, the administration, that we all work so well together as a team.
Yeah.
That we're there with the passion every day to take care of the residents the best that we can for that day that we're there, and that I get the honor and pleasure to take care of the elderly population. I love my job, and I love working there.
Yeah, that is a big thing. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's not like, oh, I got to go to work today.
Right.
It's, it's like, all right, I get to go hang out with my other family now. So, and like she said, we get to help people. We're actually serving a good purpose. So
You're
there's
providing.
value in it.
It is, and it's great feeling to be able to enjoy going to work every day. I know I do as well. Is there anything else people need to know about the Rohr home?
It's a great place to come to.
It is.
Place to come
It is, and if they want to come in, they can do where we take them around and
Yeah,
show
they
them
come
the
in for a tour.
Yeah, come in for a tour, and they can, at any time, and just.
Even ahead of time. I mean, it's not like you have to be ready right now. They can come in just to come and check us out. That's what I want to tell people. If you're unsure or you have any questions, just come in and see for yourself. I know a lot of people do research on the web now, and that's very well. It's where you need to start. There's some things you need to be looking for, ratings and reviews and all that good stuff. So.
And we do have some information available on our website. I think we have a direct link now, which is at the Polk County website, and then it's /Rohr home.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it'll lead right to our page, and we're constantly updating, adding more information and all the new stuff that we're offering. So.
Excellent. So that's a resource. They can also call you.
Yes. Yep, they can call me directly, or they can stop by as well. You don't have to really schedule a tour.
Right.
If I'm there, I will give the tour. The nurses, I've had
Anybody.
people come in on the weekends. The nurses take people around. Everybody's, we work together. It's teamwork. Everybody's willing to help.
That's good to know, because most people would feel uncomfortable just stopping by.
I had a phone call over a weekend one time where I had a person who was looking for placement, and wasn't her loved one, but somebody that she ended up being very close to, she was the POA, and she didn't know what to do for that loved one. She was at a time where she was trying to meet his needs of what he wanted, but trying to find placement. And so that night, she didn't decide to come to the Rohr home, but I took time out and talked to her and gave her all the, answered as many questions as I could and gave her all the information that I could. And she walked out of the Rohr home, maybe not deciding to bring her loved one there, but with peace of mind, with abilities of what she could do next for her loved one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, I really appreciate you guys coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
And telling us all about the Rohr home.
Thank you.
You can watch this episode of Picture of Health on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on PGTV. Don't forget, you can catch all of our previous episodes on the Polk Government YouTube page. I'm your host, Tina Mann. Thank you for joining me on this month's Picture of Health.